dear members of governments and parliaments, dear members of the diplomatic corps, dear senators, members and friends of BWA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning from Berlin. It is a great honor and pleasure for me that I have the opportunity to open the Baltic Sea Region Strategic Dialogue today, which is organized by the German Federal Association for Economic Development and Foreign Trade in cooperation with Atmis Consultancy. I'm very pleased to welcome representatives from government, diplomacy, business, as well as NGOs from Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Poland, as well as from Germany, of course, to this occasion today in virtual arrangements. Please allow me to say one thing in advance. From my point of view, as well as from the point of view of BWA, today's conference is to be understood as a prelude, which shall be followed by further events and hopefully by numerous personal encounters and exchanges once circumstances allow again. We had planned this conference to take place in physical space, so the pandemic has forced us to organize otherwise, but I hope it's just postponed. Our association, which has been committed to promoting foreign trade, international business relations, and international understanding since we were founded 18 years ago in 2003, has always attached great importance to working towards intensifying the relations with our partners and friends within the European Union, in addition to the growth markets outside Europe. The intensification of bilateral economic and political relations with the four countries which are represented at this conference today and tomorrow lies in the interest of Germany and the German economy and Germany's foreign policy priorities. The Baltic States are a product of the 20th century with a very modern history of origin, but one must not forget the prior historic legacies that have bound us together. The special mutual interest that we take in each other is based on more than 800 years of common history that we share with the Baltics, which once was a missionary and settlement area of the Teutonic Order. Successful economic relations date back to the time of the Hanseatic League, and geopolitical importance arose from the central location between the former blocs, which divided the world into Soviet and American spheres of influence until 1990. Today, the Baltics are interfaces between Northern and Eastern Europe and combine numerous cultural influences. More than any other group of states, they became a pawn of the great powers on the eve of the Second World War. And when the USSR collapsed, the exit from the Soviet Union succeeded very quickly for the Baltic states, as well as their Euro-Atlantic integrations. The relations with our neighboring countries, and especially with our neighboring country, Poland, have a checkered history behind them. And even today, these relations within the framework of the EU are not free of differing views. In my opinion, however, the connecting elements clearly outweigh the dividing elements. The Republic of Poland has always been a reliable partner for us Germans, and entire libraries are filled with information about the historical and cultural connections between our peoples. This year, we are looking back on the 30th anniversary of Poland's neighborhood with a reunited Germany, for which an international academic conference is planned in Warsaw later this summer. Besides the historical and cultural ties, there are very contemporary, pragmatic, and economic reasons why Germany should intensify its relations with the Baltic states right now. As a result of the corona pandemic, the economic and working world is currently experiencing the most radical upheaval since the end of the Second World War. The use of digital equipment, of digitalization, of artificial intelligence has been treated rather negligently in Germany in the past years. BWA has contributed expertise into this debate, and our expert committees on innovation, digitalization, and education, as well as e-government, have provided strategic guidance for decision makers from politics and business in this area. And we have raised attention more than once to the fact that Germany was falling behind in the past. A look as the experience of the Baltic region has always proven to be a substantial support there. While in Germany, most official documents and forms are still filled out by hand at public authorities, e-government has long been a social reality in the Baltic states. And as we talk a lot about Zoom these days, it seems that everybody is Zooming nowadays, we should perhaps remember that the program that for most of us, at least for my generation, first enabled digital conversations, Skype, was developed in Estonia. It enjoyed great popularity in Germany for many years and is also currently being rediscovered by companies for team meetings and conferences. Germany should therefore pay more attention to digitalization in the Baltics, see what we can learn from there, and adopt proven solutions. In the past, BWA arranged several delegation trips to Latvia and Lithuania and introduced German entrepreneurs to the opportunities in these countries. Last year, we had planned a business trip to Estonia, which unfortunately had to be postponed due to the pandemic, but we will definitely make up for it as soon as this is possible under more favorable conditions. Cooperations with the embassies of the Baltic states in Berlin is always a special help to us, for which I would like to thank the ambassadors and other representatives of the diplomatic corps at this point cordially. Another area that I consider particularly promising for Germany's strategic cooperation with the countries mentioned is the field of sustainability and green technologies. Within the framework of the European Green Deal, we should use the potentials to develop joint projects that support the implementation and entrepreneurial realization of these ambitious goals in the best possible way. Since its foundation, BWA has been strongly committed to the concept of an eco-social market economy, and against this background, I'm of course particularly pleased that we have been able to provide some food for thought for the European Commission and other EU institutions with this. I would like to invite you all to join us in dialogue during this conference and beyond, and to actively get committed in and with BWA. Our association, which brings together international experts, flourishes. Experts from politics, from diplomacy, from business, from academia and civil society, flourishes on dedicated personalities like you. And I would also like to thank our partners at Atmis Consultancy for their great work in making this conference possible under very difficult circumstances. I wish all of us a successful exchange, and I'm looking forward to a continued cooperation. Thank you very much for your attention.